Do you remember Walking While Brown? That was going on in the States for a while. I think it was Arizona, where they're just randomly arresting people for being Mexican. And George W. Bush started it with the Patriot Act, where he expanded the power of government to include being a fascist and ruining people's lives. Well, now we have Stephen Harper, the hero of the right, doing exactly the same stuff to people's rights. He has recently instituted new laws that will empower him to just revoke your passport, take away your citizenship. Say you weren't born in Canada, well then you're not a citizen if Stephen Harper decides that you offended him. And it's already happening. Do you know who Paul Watson is? Yeah, I didn't think so. He's an environmentalist who's on the reality show Whale Wars. And he is, right now, he's being, what's the word? Caterwauled or whatever? Stonewalled, that's it. And they've taken his passport away because he's an environmentalist activist and the government doesn't like that. This is now part of Canadian culture, controlling people. We have a fascist Nazi state. That's not what this is about. The law that Harper is instituting is to make it easier to seize passports when we are suspicious of terrorist activity. And this isn't some pie-in-the-sky hypothetical. Canada has a huge terror problem. In 1 week, we had 2 terrorist attacks. We just caught people in Vancouver who were doing it. And we've caught people on the West Coast before. This is the same in America, and it's the same in Britain. Not only do we have local citizens becoming jihadists and going abroad to train, but we have Muslim immigrants coming into this country, and they have no affiliation not only with Canada, but with the West. In fact, there's some deep-seated resentment for the West. You go talk to Muslims in Dearborn, Michigan. They are very proud, pro-Sharia, hate the country they're living in. So in a time of war, you have to be able to revoke passports. Look at the Kouachi brothers that did Charlie Hebdo. They were Parisians who went abroad, were trained, and Marissa Semkiw talks about this a lot. She explains that we can't catch you if you go and learn how to become a terrorist because we can't accrue evidence. So when you vanish and you're clearly a jihadist, we have to assume that you were out there training to kill us, training to put IEDs on roads, training to attack our parliament, training to attack our soldiers. In a time of war, you have to institute emergency situations like this. Now, the problem with this is, even if they can justify it today, the way big government works is once they establish an institution called the I'm going to take your passport for whatever reason I want, that doesn't get folded up and put away when the problem's gone. It stays there. It's an institution. The government never gets smaller. It always gets bigger. So no matter how much you can justify this right now, it bodes very badly for Canada because government doesn't go away. Now they have more power. Now, of course, the problem is the way government works is once there's an institution there, it's never going to recede. It's always going to stay there. So even after let's assume we can solve this terrorist problem, that organization that can revoke passports quickly is still going to exist. Yeah, that's what I'm screaming. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh my God, you're agreeing with me. Oh my God, I agree with my brother. Hey, my brother and I are friends again. Thanks, government. Thanks, Harper. Thanks for bringing in, doubling the Muslim population since 9/11. So we're left with a problem we don't need to have. The government, with their hatred of patriotism, with their love of multiculturalism, with their terrible immigration policies that aren't based on talent or assets, but are based on who can give me the most votes, who can be on the most welfare, who can bring honor killings and fill up domestic abuse clinics. Thanks to you doing that, we now need more of you. The government screws up and the only solution is more government. Thanks a lot. This is awesome. This is terrible.